So to me, I think the way I handle it is, I do not let my emotions come into play when it comes to that scenario. I rather just ignore and just wave it off. But later, when there are no issues, when I can actually have an interaction with that person, I will just interact with the person. I can playfully just button that, however, guy, this thing, you're not supposed to do it like this. The way you talk to me that time, I feel, say, maybe you never understand, but there should be a sort of respect that should be added to it. Or if not the respect, if you go on to do the respectful aspect, you use professionalism and be cautious. When we're at the office space or we're at the public space, we can be professional as we want to be. If we're having a one-on-one interaction privately, fine, we can put the respect in one corner and we address ourselves like adults. We can play, we can jest, we can do everything, but when it comes to a professional setup, respect should always play top priority.
Okay, so you just being a big person and try to not let your emotions to weigh you down so that you can be able to still have that bond with the person.
Sure.
Well, I had to do that kind of thing, so I'm learning too.
I know it's challenging. I think,
is learning.
It is challenging. I know the Gen Zs of today will say, nah, but the truth is this.
So I rather just show you playing like, boy, man, that kind of rubbish, stop it, I don't like it.
You know I always like to say you have to be the big person in the whole interaction. It's because of this. One thing a lot of people fail to understand is you grow. A kid of yesterday will one day become a father tomorrow. So will he have that mentality of a kid when he becomes a father? No. Over time you will drop some things. It looks like a challenge to a lot of young people today, but I can assure you one thing. In 5-10 years from now, they will have a flashback. They will have an interaction with a younger person. They wouldn't want to let that younger person refer to them the way they refer to people at their own younger age. Okay. They want to have a bit of respect attached to it. So which is why I said, let the professionalism always come out.
Yeah, I love that.
It will make you stand out from every other person.
I've seen many people doing many things in regard of trying to make people to respect them.
Yeah.
Me personally, I feel like respect should be earned. Okay. Like, if I want to respect me, it must reflect in my action.
Definitely.
And you too. You don't have to be big or small. Normally, I respect people the way it's supposed to be, but I accord some respect to some people based on how they carry themselves and behave toward you. So what is one biggest mistake, or what are some of the mistakes that people normally do when it comes to earning the respect of other people?
One of them is, I think that one's a major one, is you're trying to force it. You shouldn't. I remember there was a time whereby I was having an interaction with some young people and they kind of looked at me as a hindrance to them actually having their freedom. I was trying to point out that when you're at a particular public space, there are certain rules and regulations that you're meant to abide. Now, while trying to emphasize those rules, I was given the persona of being a hard act to follow. The key word they used was wicked. But I think that's where the society tends to misconstrue some things. There's a difference between being wicked and being disciplined. I think what the society is actually lacking these days is discipline. Discipline is gradually fading out. It's just not that common. So what is there is this. When you're having a situation whereby you're trying to earn the respect of people, you do not actually force it down their throats. No. For you to earn that respect, you also need to lead by example. When you start to carry yourself with dignity, with poise, over time that respect will begin to grow on your subordinates. And they will finally key in, and you will realize that after some point you don't even need to say that they need to give you the respect. It will come naturally. Where we're having a challenge is when you're trying to force that respect to come to you. It won't work. Instead, what you have is a case whereby the disrespect will even increase, because they'll look at it that since you're trying to force it, then the stubborn nature will then start to apply itself. That since you're trying to force it, fine, I don't want to do it. And you don't get the respect at the end of the day.
Okay, I love that. It makes more sense as you put it that way. There's one funny thing that I normally see, though I'm also guilty of it too. We tend to respect strangers more than we respect people at home. Why is it so? Because I normally feel people at home are doing more, way better than people outside, but we tend to respect them more than we actually respect people at home.
Should we say that's the see finish factor, I guess? It's, I think it stems from the fact that you've been too familiar with this person for a period of time. In fact, over the years, you've known this person
Flaws.
to an extent. You know the person's weakness, you know the person's flaws, you know where you can actually get to the person's boiling point, and you know the person's lowest point. Over time, the respect drops. At that point, I like to always suggest that once the respect ends, I think the professionalism needs to come in. Because the truth is this: you've known your father for all your life, isn't it? Is that an avenue for you to disrespect your father or your mother? Definitely not. So at that point, when it comes to the family setting, there are some extents of professionalism that you need to apply. And that is where the natural instinct will come into play. So for me, I think we tend to have a lot of respect for strangers because of the fact that we do not actually have an idea of their background. We don't know who they are, we don't know where they are from, we don't know the nature of their history. So we want to apply that profession because of the fact that we want to make it look as if we don't want to be on their bad book. We just want to come and see them the way they should be perceived. Now, for the family, I would suggest there should be a form of mutual respect for each other. Okay. Let that mutual respect come into play. You know this person is your father, you know this person is your mother. I think it's best if we interact them based on the knowledge we have of them at that point. Sure. Okay. We should have times where we want to play with them, and we should have times whereby we need to be professional to them.
Yeah. And when we are being professional, we tend to be formal too.
Formal, exactly.
And that will create a sense of respect among us too.
Definitely.
That's nice too. So, how has respect and courtesy influenced your personal life and career growth?
Okay. For me, I think I like to describe myself as a child of the community. And you know, the Africans have a saying that the child that is raised by the community will never go wrong, because of the fact that you weren't raised by just one person. Everybody in your childhood played a role in who you develop to be as an adult. Obviously, peer pressure will come at some point. It's definitely going to happen. You will begin to feel like you are above certain things, and you will want to derail to an extent or the other, which is natural. It's definitely natural for you to always want to question yourself at some point. So you might make some decisions that will not be popular, but will be a bit off from what you know. However, what happens in that case is this: as you grow, you adapt to new things. But it's always very, very important that the basic foundation which you have actually gotten as a child still stays. How does it stay? It stays through elderly advice, elderly counsel, being able to open up to an elderly person who you trust. In most cases, it should be your immediate family members. Although we've had scenarios whereby even the immediate family members are not even good influences. So what do? Then we suggest mentorship. You look for an elderly person who you see has a life that is exemplary, a life that is beneficial, a life that you see that his dealings and his interactions with people have a positive impact on you. Then you can actually pick that person as a mentor. Every young person, I always like to advise, every young person should have a mentor. In fact, you should have two. One within your household and one outside your household. Because the one outside your household will let you know exactly how reality is. The one within your household might tend to be a bit too careful to protect you from some things that the society actually has, some vices that the society has. However, the person who is outside has seen it all. He's not attached to you in any way, but he will want to have you to develop to become the best version of yourself. So he's going to tell you directly, or he or she is going to tell you directly exactly how the reality is, and show you pointers on how you can be able to navigate through those challenges that reality will actually bring to you.